All right, let's talk about this warm-up. In number 1, which angle would be the easiest to find first? Angle 1, 2, or 3? We could find 3, or we could find, which other one would be easy? Angle 1. Angle 3 is the first thing that I heard, so let's go ahead and find angle 3. What do you guys notice is right next to angle 3? What'd you say? It's a linear pair with 80 degrees. And we know that a linear pair always adds up to how much? 180. So angle 3 would have to be how big? Would have to be 100 degrees. Because that 100 degrees plus the 80 that's next to it would give us 180 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to my picture. 100 degrees over here. Let's go ahead and find angle 1 next. Angle 1 is up here. How would I find angle 1? What do we know about all the angles in a triangle? They add up to 180. What are the angles in the triangle where angle 1 is? What are the other angles in that triangle? 46 and 80. So I'm looking at this triangle right here. I've kind of outlined it in blue for us. So 46 and 80 and angle 1. Should be equal to 180 degrees. When you solve that for angle 1, you get how much? We need to add the 46 and the 80 together, subtract that from 180, 54 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and add that one to my picture also. How are we going to find the measurement of angle 2 over here? Same kind of thing. What are the angles that I'm going to add together? Which angles are we adding together to find angle 2? $38 and 100, so 38 degrees plus 100 degrees plus the measure of angle 2 should be equal to 180. So how big is angle 2? 42 degrees. Nice work. The minimum amount of work that I would need to see on a problem like this, for a linear pair like this one, I don't necessarily need to see any work. I know that you guys can figure out if it's supposed to add up to 180 and one of them is 80, the other one would have to be 100. But most of the time for a linear pair, I'd want to see some subtraction. And I need to see on the triangle problems, what are you adding together to get the 180? After that, if you do it all in your calculator, that's fine. Let's come over here to number 2. What's the first thing that you guys notice about number 2? First thing you notice. What'd you say? 2 is outside. Let's go ahead and find angle 2. Do I know how big the angle right next to it is? So angle 2 is right here. If I know how big the angle next to it is, I've got a linear pair, 34 degrees. This angle right here is 34 degrees. So I would have 34 degrees plus the measure of angle 2 equals 180, which means angle 2 would have to be how big? $146. All right, which one do you guys want to find next? Angle 1 or angle 3? Angle 1, okay. Angle 1 is up here in the upper left corner of the left-hand triangle. How are we going to find Angle 1. $85. Not 146, because 146 is an outside angle. That's out here. I need to add my interior angles. How big is this other interior angle that's next to angle 2? 34 degrees. That is a vertical angle with this one on the other side, so this one would have to be 34 degrees. So 85 plus 34 plus the measure of angle 1 is equal to 180. So how big is angle 1? 61 degrees. And what would I do to find angle 3 now? 34 plus 34 plus the measure of angle 3 is equal to 180 degrees. So angle 3 would have to be 112. Linear pairs add up to 180. The interior angles, or the corner angles on our triangles, add up to 180. Let's come here down to number 3. Which angle do you want to find first? 1, 2, or 3? 1. How do we find angle 1? It's a linear pair. These two angles right here form a linear pair. So angle 1 is right next to a 50-degree angle, which means angle 1 has to be how big? 130. All right, which one next? Angle 2 or angle 3? Angle 2. Angle 2 is weird. It's inside a triangle. It's an interior angle, but I don't know all 3 angles of the triangle. I don't even know 2 of them. So how am I going to figure out angle 2? Yes. We can add 70 and 50 and the measure of angle 2, and that will be equal to 180. Yes, because all 3 of these angles here form this straight line. So they have to add up to 180 because together they all form that straight line. So how big is angle 2 then? 60 degrees. I'm going to add that into my picture here. This is 60 degrees. This one over here is 130 degrees. Do I have enough information to find angle 3 now? Yes. What would I add together to set equal to 180 for angle 3? 60 plus, I'm sorry, I didn't hear the next number. 50. 60 plus 50 plus the measure of angle 3 equals 180. So how big would angle 3 have to be to make that statement true? 70. Number 4, last one. What's the easiest angle to figure out first? Angle 2 is very easy. What do we know about angle 2? It's a linear pair with 65 degrees. So these two right here so 65 degrees plus the measurement of angle 2 equals 180, which means angle 2 is how big? $115, thank you. 115 degrees. I'm going to add that into my picture here. Which angle do you guys want to find next? Angle 1 or angle 3? 3 sounds good. How are we going to find angle 3? We could subtract it, or I see something really easy here. Vertical angles. 3 is a vertical angle with 65 degrees, so I don't even have to do any work for that. The measure of angle 3 is 65 degrees. You could have looked at it as a linear pair with the 115 and subtracted to get that one. You'd still get the same answer. It's totally fine to do it either way. Do I have enough information now to find angle 1? All right, so what things do we need to add together to get angle 1? 115 plus 40 plus the measure of angle 1 equals 180 degrees. So how big is angle 1? How much? 25. Very nice work on the warm-up. So the warm-up, we had to use our linear pair theorem. We had to use our triangle sum theorem, the idea that all the angles inside of a triangle at the vertices are going to add up to 180 degrees. There was one other theorem that we learned yesterday. That was the exterior angle theorem. Exterior angle theorem, we didn't see this anywhere on this problem, but I want to look right here on number 4 because we could have used the exterior angle theorem here. 65 degrees is outside of this triangle, right? Right here. The 2 remote interior angles, that would be 40 and angle 1. Those are my remote interior angles. When I'm comparing that to my 65-degree angle. Remember, remote means it's not touching it. It's farther across the triangle. I'd have to walk to get there. These 2 should add up to my exterior angle. I know this one's 40. How big did we say angle 1 was? 25. What happens when I add 40 and 25 together? I get 65, that exterior angle. So sometimes we don't have enough information to use our triangle sum theorem, but we do have enough to use our exterior angles theorem. The 2 remote interior angles will always add together to give me my exterior angle. All right, go ahead and pull out your notes packet. We did the front page yesterday. If you were not here yesterday, you're going to want to get into Canvas to go over those examples. We're going to do 3 word problems today, and the very first thing that I notice about these word problems is that there's no pictures to go along with them. So since we're talking about a triangle in problem number 5, I'm going to draw a triangle, and then I'm going to mark that triangle up. It doesn't matter if the triangle that I draw is a perfect representation of what my answer ends up being. This is just a model for me to work with so that I have some visual representation and it's easier for me to make relationships. So we're going to draw a triangle cat. So I start off just by drawing any random triangle. Yours doesn't have to look like mine. And then I'm going to label the vertices, C, A, and T. I want to mark this triangle up with the information that they gave me. They told me right up at the top that the measurement of angle C is 15x. So I'm going to go to the vertex that's C. This is 15x degrees. And then it tells me the measurement of angle A is 5x plus 40 degrees. Yep, we're right there. Nope, you just went right past it. Right there. And finally, they tell me that the measurement of angle T is 10x plus 20 degrees. They want me to do 2 things in this problem. First, they want me to find the measures of each interior angle. So I need to find angle C, angle A, and angle T. And then after that, I need to classify the triangle. What do I know about the 3 angles of a triangle? They add to 180. So I'm going to take these expressions and add them up. So 15x plus 5x plus 40 plus 10x plus 20. We're going to set that equal to 180 degrees. Now I need to solve this for x. I need to find x first so that I can come in here and substitute x in so that I can find each of these angles. Are there any like terms that I should combine together? (15x, 5x, and 10x. And what do I get when I combine 15, 5, and 10? 30x. Are there any other like terms that I should combine together? 40 and 20. What do I get when I combine 40 and 20 together? 60. So 30x plus 60 equals 180. Where to from here? Subtract 60 from both sides. What is 180 minus 60? 120, so 30x equals 120. And then what? We divide by 30 on both sides. Leave the x in place. I don't want the x in my denominator, so it stays over there on the left. And I get that x equals what? X equals 4, which is not my final answer, but I have to use that to find my answers for C, A, and T. Measurement of angle C is 15x, and we just learned that x is how big? X is 4. So I do 15 times 4, which gives me what is 15 times 4? 60. So the measurement of angle C is 60 degrees. Now we're going to come and do the same thing for angle A. The measurement of angle A is 5x plus 40. We found that x was 4, so I have 5 times 4 plus 40. 5 times 4 would be 20, and 20 plus 40? 60. So the measurement of angle A is also 60 degrees. There are two different ways that I could find the measurement of angle T. What's one way I could find angle T? Yep, add 60 and 60 and take that away from 180. Or I can substitute in. Measurement of angle T is equal to 10x plus 20. So I have 10 times 4 plus 20. So 40 plus 20. Angle T is how big? (60) again. All of my angles are 60 degrees. If all of my angles are the same size, what does that mean about my sides? They're all the same also. What do we call a triangle where all the sides are the same? Equilateral. So every triangle that we name, every triangle that we classify has to have two names. This one we said is equilateral. All my angles are the same, so all my sides have to be the same. And then I also need to classify it based on its angles, whether it's a right triangle, an acute triangle, or an obtuse triangle. This is acute. All of my angles are less than 90 degrees, so this is an acute equilateral triangle. Nice work. All right. Let's go look at number 6. Did they give me a picture in number 6? No. So the first thing we're going to do is draw a picture. So on your paper, I want you to draw a triangle and label the vertices G, E, and O. Did they give me expressions like last time? Mm-mm. They gave me verbal descriptions of relationships here. What's the first angle that they tell me about? Angle E. It says the measurement of angle E is 4 times the measurement of angle O. 4 times means what? What does 4 times mean to do? All right, so 4 times means we're going to multiply by 4. What are we multiplying by 4? What does it say I have 4 times? Do I know how big angle O is? If I knew how big angle O was, I could just multiply it by 4 and I'd have this one, but I don't know how big angle O is. So I'm going to let the measurement of angle O be x degrees because I don't know what that is. Now I can write an expression for the measurement of angle E because it's supposed to be 4 times the measurement of angle O, and I said angle O is x. So 4x. So I'm going to add that to my picture. Angle E is 4x degrees. And then we come over here to angle G. It says angle G is 9 less than angle E. What does 9 less mean? Subtract. This means subtract 9 from whatever comes after it. So for my measurement of angle G, I need to subtract 9 from something. What am I subtracting 9 from? 4x. That's my measurement of angle E. So 4x minus 9 is my expression for angle G. What can I do with all of that now? We're going to add it all together and do what with it? Set it equal to 180. All right, so I have x plus 4x plus 4x minus 9 is equal to 180. Are there any like terms that I could combine together here? I can combine 4x and 4x. Anything else? And then just that x. What is x plus 4x plus 4x? 9x. So 9x minus 9 equals 180. What do I do after that? We're going to add 9 to both sides, so that would give me 189 over on the right. 9x equals 189. And then what? We're going to divide by what? By 9. This one does come out to be nice and pretty. What is 189 divided by 9? $189 divided by 9. 21. So I need to use this. That's not my final answer, but I'm going to use it to find all three angles. How big is angle O? 21 degrees. Measurement of angle O is equal to x. So that would be 21 degrees. Then to find the measurement of angle E, we're going to do 4 times that. 4 times our x, so 4 times 21, which would give me how much? $84. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. So 84 degrees. How do I find angle G? How would we find angle G? 4 times 21 minus 9. We already know that 4 times 21 is 84. So I'm doing 84 minus 9, which would be what? 75. Last thing I need to do here is to classify this triangle. Look at all those angles. 21, 84, 75. What do you notice? What do you notice about all three of those angles? They're all not the same. They're all different, which means this has to be what kind of triangle? Scalene. If all my angles are different, then all my sides would have to be different as well. So this is going to be scalene. Acute. Why acute? They're all less than 90. So an acute scalene triangle. I mentioned this yesterday, but I'm going to mention it again since your homework is due tomorrow. When you classify a triangle, I don't care which one you put first. You could write scalene acute or acute scalene. It does not matter. It has the exact same meaning. I tend to put the angle classification first and then the sides, but there's no particular reason for that than personal preference. So if you switch it around the other way, it's perfectly okay. Let's do the last problem, number 7. Did they give us a picture in number 7? Nope. So once again, we have to start off by drawing our own picture. We're going to draw angle TRY. We're going to label the vertices T, R, and Y. And again, it's okay if this triangle doesn't end up accurately representing what I've found. This is just something for me to do my thinking on so that I have a visual representation. It tells me that the measurement of angle R is triple the measurement of angle T. What does triple mean? Multiply by 3. And what are we multiplying by 3? What does it tell us we need to multiply by 3? Angle T. Do I know how big angle T is? All right, then let's come up with something that can represent angle T. What do you want to let represent angle T? X. Sounds good. So angle T would be X degrees. So then angle R would be 3X. Angle Y. It says angle Y is 14 more than double angle R. Let's break this down and take it one chunk at a time. What does 14 more than mean? Add 14 to whatever comes after it. So I'm going to write down the measurement of angle Y. I'm going to have something plus 14. And I'm going to need to fill in that blank. What does double mean? Multiply by 2. So I'm going to have something multiplied by 2 here. What am I multiplying by 2? Not just 3. 3x, the measurement of angle R, which we have represented by 3x. Can I simplify this at all? 6x. I'd multiply the 2 just to the 3x, not to the 14, because the 14 is not inside parentheses. So 6x plus 14 is what I have representing the measurement of angle Y. All right, now that I have all 3 angles, what do I do with them? Add them up and do what with them then? Equal them to 180. So x plus 3x plus 6x plus 14 is equal to 180. Do we have any like terms that we can combine together? Yes, what are the like terms that I can combine? 6x, 3x, and x. What do I get when I add all those together? (10x). 10x plus 14 equals 180. What next? Subtract 14 from both sides. What is 180 minus 14? 166. So 10x equals 166. And then we're going to divide by 10. This doesn't come out to be a whole number, but the decimal's not too bad. It is 16.6. All right, we're going to use this now to find all of our angles and then to be able to classify our triangle. If x is 16.6, then how big is angle T? 16.6. Angle T is x. So the measurement of angle T is 16.6 degrees. Measurement of angle R, how do I find that? How do we find the measurement of angle R? 3 times 16.6. What is 3 times 16.6? 49.8. Tell me 2 ways I could find angle Y. I can do 16.6 plus 49.8, and I can minus that from 180. What's the second way I could find angle Y? Yep. We can plug it in. I can do 6 times 16.6 plus 14. What is 6 times 16.6? 6 times 16.6. 99.6 plus 14. 113.6 degrees. All right, last thing we need to do is classify this triangle. I want you to look at all those angles and tell me what you notice. Look at the 3 angles that we found and tell me what you notice. The same thing as before? Close. My 3 angles are all different, Because my three angles are all different, my sides would have to all be different. Scaling obtuse. Why obtuse? Y is greater than 90. This is an obtuse angle. Remember, every triangle either has 3 acute angles, or it has 2 acute angles and 1 right angle, or it has 2 acute angles and 1 obtuse angle. 1 obtuse angle makes the whole triangle obtuse. 1 right angle makes the whole triangle a right triangle. 3 acute angles make it an acute triangle. So this would be an obtuse scalene triangle. All right, that finishes us up for today. Tomorrow, I do need you guys to bring your books with you, and for the next several days, we're going to do some notes in the notes packet, and then we're going to do some notes in your book. So please bring your book with you so that we have that. I can't promise that we'll definitely get into it tomorrow, but there's a good chance we will, so I want you to have it with you. We will be using your book on Thursday for sure. Homework is due tomorrow. That's the worksheet that you picked up yesterday. If you don't have a copy of the worksheet, please come up here to this red set of papers and grab the homework. If you lose the paper and you get home tonight and you realize you don't have it with you, the homework came straight out of the book, so you could also look in Canvas and get the book problems and do them. All I did for the worksheet homework was I took the book and I deleted the problems that we're not doing so that you had extra workspace, because the book didn't give a lot of room for that. All right? If you guys have any questions, please let me know. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Halloween day, and I hope you guys still get lots of candy, even though you might be too big to trick or treat.